We now shift our focus to fresh risks for Indian tycoon Gautam Adani. Since last month, Adani firms have lost more than $120 billion in market value. And there seems to be no end in sight to Adani's ongoing issues. That's right, his $2.5 billion share sale has come on the radar of S.E.B.I, or the Securities and Exchange Board of India. It is the Indian market regulator. Remember, Adani Enterprises' fully subscribed share offering to the public was the biggest secondary stock sale in Indian history. Yet, Adani aborted it. He blamed market volatility for his decision. If S.E.B.I's probe wasn't enough, the LIC has vowed to seek a clarification from Adani. LIC is the second biggest shareholder in most of Adani's listed firms. How much has it invested in Adani firms till now? Around $4.35 billion. Our next report gets you up to date with the latest in the Adani saga.
Gautam Adani. Less than a month back, he was among the 3 richest persons in the world. His growth story was just spectacular. The combined wealth of his firms grew by 819% in the last 3 years. Adani's honeymoon period ended on the 24th of January. That's when US-based short seller Hindenburg Research dropped a bombshell. Hindenburg charged Adani with using offshore shell companies. For what? To jack up the stock prices of Adani firms and to avoid paying taxes. And what was the result? Adani's firm's value has almost halved. Unfortunately for Adani, dark clouds still hover over his business empire. More so after the latest vote of no confidence in Gautam Adani's empire from the MSCI. The MSCI is a global index provider. It tracks commodities to measure their investment returns. MSCI's review of Adani Group shares draws attention back to Hindenburg's charge. What was that charge? It alleged the biggest holders of Adani shares are offshore shell companies. MSCI also says that certain Adani investors should no longer be designated as freely tradable. And Hindenburg's founder was quick to jump on MSCI's review. Here's what he tweeted. Characteristics of certain investors have sufficient uncertainty that they should no longer be designated as free float pursuant to our methodology. We view this as validation of our findings on offshore stock parking by Adani. What's more, a Reuters commentary claims that Adani's business practices shouldn't come as a surprise. Picture this. The value of Adani's firms had jumped 7-fold in 3 years to $218 billion. Now, voices questioning Adani's business model are getting bolder. Questions are being raised at home and abroad. And those who bankrolled his debt-fueled rise now face tough questions. There are 5 banks in particular. 3 of them are foreign and 2 are based in India. They are Deutsche Bank, Barclays, Standard Chartered, State Bank of India, ICICI Bank. Let's take a look at a few numbers now. Foreign banks increased their lending to Adani Group by 18% in 6 years. Foreign bonds make up 37% of Adani firms' borrowings now. These borrowings stood at a mere 14% 6 years back. Did these banks ignore the warning signs as they continued to fund Adani's debt-fueled ambitions? What were the warning signs? First, puffed-up valuations of Adani firms. For instance, 3 of Adani firms figured in the list of the 10 most expensive firms. Then, brokerage firms were not that bullish about Adani firms. They offered tepid interest rates. But these signs were overlooked in the due diligence processes of foreign investors. At home, the Adani stock rout has rocked the Indian parliament. The opposition has been relentlessly demanding a parliamentary probe, and S.E.B.I is now probing Adani's $2.5 billion I.P.O. sale. What's the charge being probed? That 2 Mauritius-based companies who were anchor investors in the I.P.O. sale have links to Adani. What is an anchor investor? An entity allotted shares worth at least $1.2 million in an I.P.O. sale. Under Indian law, anchor investors cannot have links to the company. One can't help but notice that S.E.B.I's probe and the MSCI's review resonate a charge levelled by Hindenburg. What was that? Adani allegedly used offshore firms to inflate the stock prices of his firms.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.